Hello the internet, Andy here for What Culture Wrestling, and with WWE rolling through beautiful Newcastle upon Tyne on their ongoing European tour last night, me and my fellow top boys Adam Cleary, Adam Nicholas, Jules Gill, Phil Chambers and Michael Hamflett just had to head along and see the men and women of SmackDown Live in action. It was a textbook house show in many ways, with the wrestlers in full-on banter mode, pushing entertainment to the forefront for a raucous crowd that lapped up every single move. Now these shows might not be canon, but they're always a great laugh, and often they give several hints as to where the company may be headed over the coming weeks or months, and last night was no different. So with that in mind, let's take a look at 10 things we learned from WWE Live in Newcastle. Number 10. The New Day are never splitting up. A triple threat tag title match between the Bludgeon Brothers, Usos and New Day opened the show, and unsurprisingly, Big E, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods scored one of the biggest pops of the night. People absolutely love these guys even 4 years into their act, and their merch was absolutely everywhere. No matter how often we might complain about them becoming a little bit stale or maybe too repetitive, it really doesn't matter. They're way too marketable to go anywhere, so expect them to keep doing the same old thing for years to come. Number 9. NXT still isn't as popular as you think. NXT is bloody lovely, but it's really easy to get trapped in the online bubble and overstate the show's popularity. The fact is that this is still a third-rate brand at its core, and that lots of fans, particularly those in younger demographics, just aren't watching it. This was abundantly clear last night when WWE had to play a 3-minute video package before unleashing Aleister Black for his match with Alexander Wolf. It didn't work though, the poor fella still came out to crickets, but while the fans did get into the match as it progressed, it's quite clear that the popularity levels just aren't there, and it's still a niche product. Number 8. Jeff Hardy is transcendent. The United States champion was in great form last night, prancing all over the arena to high-five fans in an elongated ring entrance before going full-on showman in his match with Rusev. His popularity is nuts. There were kids in that arena that weren't even born the last time he was with WWE, yet they still treated him like a hero. Good on the company for recognizing this and giving Jeff one last big singles run. Number 7. Sin Cara can still go. An unexpected highlight of last night's show was Andrade Cien Almas versus Sin Cara, and surprisingly, this wasn't entirely down to the former NXT champion. Sin Cara was great. He was diving and flipping all over ringside like a madman, and while he lost, he looked great in defeat. The poor fella just isn't really used on TV all that often anymore, but matches like this serve as a reminder that when called upon, he can still do a good job. Number 6. The UK project feels pointless. There was a 6-person UK tag match last night with Mark Andrews, Tyler Bate and Wolfgang facing Joseph Connors, Tyson T-Bone and some I can't remember. Saxon Huxley, there you go. Unfortunately, the match just kind of felt like filler. It's a shame because these guys are really talented, but it's almost like the company went, hey, we're in the UK, we should probably use a few of these British guys. Unfortunately, they didn't even bother to hype the upcoming UK title tournament as well, which left the whole thing feeling pointless. Number 5. The MIZ'S crowd control is unreal. Miz vs Daniel Bryan was the match that most fans were most excited for heading into last night's show, and we weren't left disappointed. Bryan was, of course, the most over guy in the building, but we have to give props to The Miz as well. Everything he did was fantastic. From stealing slow motion yes chants to using Bryan's moves against him, everything got a reaction. The guy's a pro. He's a perfect WWE style wrestler, and at this point, it does him a great disservice to even call him underrated. He's one of the best in the business, and the way he conducts a live crowd is second to none. Number 4. Big Cass might be hurt. Spare a thought for poor old Big Cass, who has just returned from almost a year out through injury and may well have hurt himself while wrestling Ty Dillinger last night. Cass won, but he was in visible discomfort as he headed up the ramp after the match. He was clearly frustrated and he was walking with a heavy limp. Now this could well have been a spot of expert selling from the big man, and our fingers are certainly crossed, as another injury at this stage in his career would be terrible. Number 3. The women's division is really unbalanced. Though we were originally supposed to get 2 women's matches last night, WWE crammed them into one, with the brand's biggest baby faces, Asuka, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair and Naomi, facing off against Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Lana, and Carmella. Charlotte and company were over as hell. They got great pops, had the fans fired up, and controlled most of the match. But unfortunately, the same can't quite be said for their opposite numbers. Only Carmella out of the group really generated any heel heat, and that's a shame. The heel side is really lagging at the moment, and it desperately needs padded out. But not with Tamina. Please, for the love of God, not Tamina. Number 2, WWE is in a very weird place. As pointed out by the dink to my doink, Adam Cleary, WWE headlined a house show last night with a man who made his name in TNA, 2 European stars, 2 guys from the biggest gaijin stable in New Japan Pro Wrestling history, and a unique Japanese star who many thought wouldn't even translate to WWE audiences. Given that Cesaro originally broke through on the US indie scene before joining WWE, you could argue that Sheamus is the only true WWE guy. In last night's main event between The Bar and Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. That's nuts, and it speaks volumes to WWE's roster variety these days. Number 1, Bryan vs Miz is going to rule. WWE shoved Miz vs Bryan in the middle of last night's house show, but it was an excellent match and easily the best thing on the card. And frankly, it bodes very, very well for their inevitable feud. Sure, they worked a little lighter than usual, it was a house show after all, but they generated loads of heat. And with Bryan leaping off the apron and Miz pulling out every heelish move in the book, they absolutely delivered. Assuming they're using this tour as a means of trying out matches and perfecting their formula before they eventually hit pay-per-view, the end result is going to be absolutely spectacular. Get hyped, people. So those are our observations from WWE Live in Newcastle, but please, tell us what you think. Maybe you were at the show last night as well, or perhaps you've just been to a recent WWE house show over the past few weeks or months. Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I've been Andy for What Culture Wrestling, and I'll see you later.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.